Hello, and welcome to the first lesson in our class on regionalism and globalization in East Asia. In this lesson, we will introduce some of the debates about the growing interest in regional developments. We will then look at the relationship between regional developments and globalization. We'll talk about what is meant by a region and why they are increasingly important, even when the dominant theme is globalization. Throughout the course, we talk about institutions and institutionalization, so we should first explain what these important concepts mean. An institution is something like an organization or a way of behaving or an idea that is accepted as an important part of a society. When something that was not usual or not done often before becomes a normal and accepted part of society, we call this institutionalization. Sometimes a new set of rules becomes accepted and an institution is created to ensure everyone knows these rules and follows them. For example, the World Trade Organization. When we think about a region, there are some questions we need to consider. For example, where do we draw the boundaries? Who is in and who is out? What are the reasons for inclusion or exclusion? Also, are there any differences between regions that are based on political or economic reasons? And would a region that is based on security concerns be different than what we expect? For example, the EU is an economic region in Western Europe, but many of its members are also in NATO, a region formed for security reasons. In this lesson, we begin thinking about these questions, and we start to see why it makes sense to think of East Asia as a region, like Western Europe or Latin America. The main purpose of this lesson is to consider the nature of regions in general and of East Asia in particular. This will highlight one of the central themes of the course. What is different about East Asia? Will it become more like other regions because of globalization? Or will it stay different and distinct? There are no easy answers to these questions because it depends on the specific country and on the issue. We will see that despite forces of change, East Asia remains quite different from Western countries. East Asia has some of the world's most important and distinctive political economies. Traditionally, the global balance of power lay with the West, but the East is becoming strategically and economically more important. This new influence might become institutionalized in new regional organizations. This can happen when states try to change national policies in response to global pressures. In doing this, states discover that they can benefit from cooperating with their neighbours. The course of regional development is not inevitable. It depends on national and regional histories, on patterns of power, and on the wider global system.